Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Vinland Saga. Boy, we had to really rev that intro up, didn't we? Anyway, last time around we had Ketil's Farm. I should mention, because yesterday, at time of recording this yesterday, the first episode of the season went up to YouTube, and a number of you corrected me. Thank you for that. A number of you corrected me that we are not in the same place that Einar was already living. But both he and Thorfinn are now... This whole farm is in Denmark, specifically. So, we're in Denmark. We've never been to Denmark. Isn't that crazy? Anywho. So yes, last time, Ketil's Farm, Einar was introduced to Thorfinn, and they were both given a task, basically, to chop down an entire forest, turn it into a wheat field, cultivate it, and then Ketil will buy it from them at a reasonable price, upon which they can buy their freedom, basically. So they both have a path. Is going to be hard work, is going to be a lot of hard work, and some of the guys aren't really giving them the proper amounts of food, but they do still have a path towards freedom, which is something, you know? Also, Einar found a really cute blonde girl. So that's great. Also, Ketil's son, Olmar, he doesn't want to take over the farm. He wants to join Prince Canut's army. And everyone's looking at him like, well, you're going to die, so why don't you just stay here on the farm, you know? So yeah. That's pretty much it. We did also have, I guess the last thing we had was Einar telling Thorfinn about his village, and Thorfinn, I think, remembering that village, the first village he saw raided by Askeladd's men. So, yeah. So that's pretty crazy. But where are we going now? We'll have to find out. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. Excuse me. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this episode of Vinland Saga. Here we go. Thorfinn is in his emo Eren Yeager phase. That says something, actually. His depressed Eren Yeager phase. Except he doesn't have the rest of the Eren Yeager, you know, garbage character assassination, you know? He has nothing to live for. He's a dead man walking. He's just a zombie going through life. He doesn't care. There's no purpose to his life. He had one thing in his life. It wasn't good, but it was one thing. Now that it's gone. I mean, it's definitely also, too, that it's like, you know, the revenge, the feeling he had, the anger he had towards Askeladd, he had that for a majority of his life, you know? He was 6. He was 6 years old when that started. That is a major portion of his life. And so, when he's like, you know, like, oh, nothing good has ever happened in my life. I mean, the thing is, before that, he was a child. And not when you say, like, oh, Olmar is a child because he's still 17. It's like, no, he was a child. Nothing in his life, like, he hadn't cemented anything about his life before that, you know? He was still a child. And now that the driving force of his own life is gone, all he can look back on is nothing. Nothing has happened in his entire life, you know? I mean, it's definitely a thing of like, look, I don't remember being 6, you know? I don't remember being 6. That was 20 years ago now. And I don't remember being 6. But imagining, like, if I had had something these past 20 years If I had had something these past 20 years that was the driving point of my life, and it just evaporated, it literally led to nothing, and I no longer had that, I can't go back to that point, that other point in my life when I didn't have it, you know? Because that was 20 years ago. I can't go back that far. Now, I don't think Thorfinn is 26 at this point, although we don't know how old he is at this point. He's certainly older than he was at the end of Season 1. Very obviously, his broken arm from the end of Season 1 is healed, but we don't know. We don't know how much older he is, but he has nothing to live for. Einar, to his credit, he has his own freedom to look forward to. You know, he had something. We don't know how old Einar is. I'm gonna say probably in his late teens. He's probably a little older than Olmar. I'm gonna say he's 19, 20, maybe 21. And so let's just go on the basis that he's 21. And so he has 21 years of his life of just being a normal person, to where once he can buy back his freedom, he can go. Now, granted, he doesn't have his family. He doesn't have his family, but he can start again, you know? Now, it's an interesting thing because Einar doesn't have his family anymore. All of his family is dead and gone. Thorfinn, his family's still there. As far as we know, his mother and his sisters are still alive. Now, it's entirely possible that after all this time, his mother finally passed away. Helga finally passed away of her illnesses. But he has no reason to believe that his sister is dead. He could still go find his family again in Iceland. But, I think one thing about why he doesn't is I think he's ashamed, you know? I think he's ashamed now that after everything, it's like, you know, he spent so much of his life on this, and now he has nothing to show for it, you know? Because he failed in killing Askeladd, he has nothing to show for it. Now, granted, Helga and Ylva are not going to, you know, they're not going to lord that over him. Leif didn't, you know? They are not going to put that against him. But he will still put it against him. Even if he returns to his family, I think he would still feel the shame of what he has done, you know? The shame of failing to avenge his father, you know? And because of that now, because he won't go back to them, he's got nothing to live for. He's a dead man walking. Maybe, you know, because there was the slight ray of hope last season of, you know, let's go find Vinland again, you know? But we don't know. Can he do it again? Can he find new purpose in life? That's the question, isn't it? That's the question. Meanwhile, Einar does have his purpose in life. He wants to be free again. Hey, he found something. Arid? Was that her name? I should probably look up. They only said it once, so I think I'm just gonna have to look it up and see, and I'll try not to look at anything. So, Arnhed? Oh, there's a romanji for how they say it in Japanese. Arunezu. So how would I translate that? Arunezu. Arne? Maybe just Arne? Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully they'll say it more. I'm going to go with Arne for now. I guess I can go back. The thing is, I don't like going back on Crunchyroll because then it doesn't count it as having completed the episode. And it gets all janky and I don't like it. So. Yeah, so it's Arnade. I'm gonna try to remember that. This is gonna be hard though. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay. I'll figure it out and we'll get it down. For now, we'll call her Girl, because there's no other girls right now. So, Vinland Saga is a bit of a sausage fest, I must say. If I can say sausage correctly. Anywho, Olmar, he wants to be somebody. He wants to be somebody, and you know, who among us? And I know I said among us, but who of us didn't want to be someone when we were 17? I started this YouTube channel when I was 17. That was almost 10 years ago now. I also grew this beard 10 years ago, so that was nice. I like it. Need to shave though. I've let it get a little long, but I need to trim it. But who doesn't want to be someone when they're 17? But those guys, they don't know what they're talking about. Just killing someone, that does not make you a man. You know? See, you know, we've talked about, you know, through a lot of season 1 of like, you know, what is a man, you know? And we talk about like, you know, it's an interesting thing putting that in a show about Vikings, because you would think like with Vikings, like that is sort of the definition of a man, or at least what a lot of people's definition of a man is, you know, a Viking. I like that this show though takes the time to, you know, go over like, yeah, no, that's not it. That's not the definition of a man. That's a false definition of a man, you know? And now it's so exaggerated here where it's like, you know, for them, you know, in order to become a man, you just have to kill someone. Not like on the battlefield, not someone who's attacking you, it's just kill someone. And if you do that, it's a rite of passage and you will become a man. It's just... No. If you kill a man, will it change you? Yeah. But will you become a man? No. You'll just be changed. The only true man in this show was Thor's. And even he wasn't perfect, you know? He was not a true warrior by his own admission, you know? Thorfinn doesn't care. He doesn't care about life or death anymore. He'll take those hits and he doesn't care. And it is something because, you know, I'm sitting here like, come on, Thorfinn, let's beat his ass, but Thorfinn is not in an ass-beating mindset right now. But that's the thing. Thorfinn, finally, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's got a character arc. Thorfinn's finally getting a character arc. After all these episodes, it's finally his turn. And we'll just have to see what happens. And what's going on with Snake? It took me a sec to realize that they're all named, like they all have the names of animals. So you got Fox, Badger, and then this guy's coming in named Snake. Fucking Snake. A lot of entitled people, man. A lot of entitled people in Denmark. Where, you know, you have Olmar. Snake actually, like, he seems like he can back it up. You know, he's the head of the bodyguards. But even still, like, you know, Snake going out, you know, at whatever time it was. And being like, Grandpa, make me food. And he's like, well, if you're not going to help, I'm not going to make you food. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm just going to leave then. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Just help. Or just make your own fucking food. You know, they got eggs. They make eggs in Viking times. I don't know. When did people start baking? When did people start frying eggs? You know, I feel like you could. I feel like if they weren't doing it, I feel like you could go back in time and you could probably teach them. You know, just all you have to do is you have to have a skillet, basically. I think those existed or a version of that. Put it over an open flame, crack an egg, make an egg. You know, now granted, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make an egg, but still. Just make yourself an egg. Who cares? I don't know. You fucking feed yourself. Who knows how old this guy is? You know, he looks like he's in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, but it's just like, fucking feed yourself. What are you, a child? I don't know, man. Thorfinn could feed himself. Thorfinn caught a rabbit. He couldn't cook much, but he caught a rabbit. Luckily, Ragnar and Canute were able to cook it into something really delicious, but even Thorfinn can fend for himself. Fucking fend for yourself, man. Make an egg. I don't know. Make an egg. Figure it out. It's not that hard. It's an egg. You put it over fire, eventually you can eat it. I don't know. Make an egg. Fucking people. Fucking people, man. I don't even know how to make an egg, and I would figure out how to make an egg. Or eat some bread. I don't know. There's something around the house you can make. He's like, no, I'm not going to make myself food. It's like, well, fuck you. You're not a man either. Make yourself some fucking food. You know? Fend for yourself. Jesus. I guess that's pretty much it. This is kind of all I got for this episode. Great episode. Again, this is one of the greatest shows of all time, and I will continue to suck it off every episode. So, I don't know. I'm going to have some weak knees by the end of this show, let me tell you. And with all of that being said, can I go one episode without saying stuff like that about this show? I don't know. But I love it. I love this show. I don't know. Whatever. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Vinland Saga reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later. Of the ones I left behind that I love.